She said something people only say when they think you'll stick around no matter how they treat you. When she dumped you with a soft smile and a line meant to keep you in her orbit, she thought you'd stay available. She thought you'd stay loyal. She thought you'd wait for her attention like nothing changed. So you agreed. Calm, quiet, unbothered. Totally, you said, and she believed it. But 6 weeks later, when she saw the truth you never said out loud, her confidence cracked because she expected you frozen. She expected you hurting. She expected you stuck. What she found instead was a version of you she never imagined losing. But before I tell you what happened that day, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. She dumped me with a soft smile and asked if we could stay close. I told her, totally. The word left my mouth smoother than I expected. No crack in my voice, no begging, no trembling hands. I watched her face when I said it. She looked relieved, almost proud of herself, as if she solved something with grace. She didn't see the shift in my eyes. She didn't see the door inside me closing. She only saw the version of me she thought she understood. The one who always forgave, always waited, always stayed. She thought I'd take the breakup like a loyal pet waiting by the door. She spoke gently, like she believed she was being kind. I don't want to lose you. You've been good to me. I want you in my life, as a friend, someone I trust, someone who understands me. I nodded. Sure. She blinked, surprised by how easily I agreed. You're not upset? I'm hearing you, I said. You want something different. I respect that. She softened. That was the moment she thought she still had me. She reached across the table and touched my hand. Thank you for being mature. I didn't want this to ruin our bond. Our bond? Funny. I pulled my hand away calmly, pretending to adjust my sleeve. She pretended not to notice the distance. I hope, she continued, that you don't close off. Maybe in the future, when things settle, we'll see where we are. But for now, I need space. I need to figure out my life. Take all the space you need, I said. Her shoulders relaxed. She believed she'd delivered the breakup safely without consequences. But she had no idea that the moment she said, we can still be close, she freed me from every fragile promise I ever held. She wasn't giving me a consolation prize. She was handing me the exit I never took. She stood up and gave me a soft hug. I didn't hug back. I let her arms do all the work. Still, she smiled as she pulled away. You're the best, she whispered. I didn't answer. As she walked out, she glanced over her shoulder one last time. I offered a small, polite smile. Nothing warm, nothing desperate, nothing suggestive. That small moment bothered her. I saw it in her eyes before she forced herself to leave. Outside the cafe window, I watched her walk away, phone already in her hand, typing fast, probably telling her friends how civil I was, how adult, how safe. She had no clue she'd lost me the moment she asked me to stay close. I didn't text her that night, or the next day, or the week after. When she posted a selfie at a bar, I didn't react. When she laughed too loudly on her stories, I didn't watch twice. When she sent me a long message about how weird the week felt without our usual calls, I waited 2 hours before replying with one word: busy. She didn't expect that. Her next message came faster. Are we still good? Yeah, I wrote, short, dry, controlled. She kept trying. Little conversations, little excuses to reach out. But I stopped feeding her comfort. I stopped being her emotional backup plan. I stopped letting her borrow my loyalty without giving anything back. 2 weeks passed, then 4, then 6. By then, my life didn't include her anymore. Not in my habits, not in my thoughts, not in my plans. I had moved forward with a quiet determination she never saw in me. I stopped waiting. I stopped hoping. I stopped holding space for someone who shrank mine. But the thing about people like her? They always notice when your attention disappears, only when they need it back. 6 weeks later, I saw her again. Not because I reached out, not because she checked on me, but because she walked into the same cafe where our breakup happened, laughing with a friend. She didn't see me at first. I saw her smile fade the moment she did. Her friend was mid-sentence when she froze, staring at me across the room with eyes that didn't hold confidence anymore. Only shock, because she wasn't looking at the person she left. She was looking at someone she no longer had access to. And deeper than shock, I saw regret, heavy, sudden, raw. She whispered something to her friend, who turned to look at me. Then her gaze darted back to the table as if she didn't want me to see her reaction. But I saw everything she tried to hide. Her posture stiffened. Her breath caught. Her smile broke for the first time in weeks. She expected me stuck. She expected me waiting. She expected me hers. Instead, she saw someone free. Someone she couldn't control. Someone she couldn't keep on a leash. Someone who didn't orbit her anymore. And that's when she stood up, hesitant, nervous, searching for words. She walked toward me, her voice low. "Hey, do you have a minute?" The moment she asked, I knew this story wasn't over, but our dynamic was. She dumped me with a soft smile and asked if we could stay close. I told her, totally. Now she stood beside my table in the cafe where she ended us. Hands tense, eyes unsure, voice low enough to hide the tremble. "Do you have a minute?" she asked. I set my cup down. "For what?" She blinked at the tone. Calm, detached. No pain, no longing, not the version of me she expected to face. "I didn't expect to run into you," she said. "I live in the city," I replied. "It happens." She let out a short breath, almost nervous. "You look different." "Do I?" "Yes. Lighter, more confident." She paused. "It's noticeable." "I'm fine," I said. "Life moves." She wasn't ready for that answer. She shifted her weight, fingers tangled together, eyes darting at the seat across from me. "Can I sit?" she asked. "It's your choice." She sat slowly, unsure of every move. She used to sit across from me like she owned that space. Now she looked like a guest waiting to be dismissed. "This feels strange," she whispered. "You ended us," I reminded her. "Strange as expected." Her face tightened. "I didn't mean for things to become distant." "You asked for distance." "I asked for space," she corrected gently. "Not silence." I held her gaze. Space leads to silence when someone stops holding the connection. She lowered her eyes. "I didn't want to lose you as a friend." "You didn't lose a friend," I said. "You let go of a partner and expected me to stay in place." Her throat bobbed. "I didn't know what I was doing. I thought we'd talk, text, stay close." "We didn't," I said. "That's what scares me." She looked at me with a mix of fear and realization, like she'd only now understood the cost of her decision. She spoke slowly. "You stopped answering fast. You stopped checking in. You stopped showing up in my life." "I stopped being available," I said. Her breath caught. "You stopped caring?" "I stopped waiting." Her eyes filled, not with tears, but with something deeper. Dread. She leaned in slightly. "I went through some changes these weeks. I tried dating again. I thought I wanted freedom. But the more I tried to start fresh, the more I felt something missing." "You missed comfort," I said. "Not me." "That's not fair." "It's honest." She bristled, then softened. "I missed stability. I missed feeling safe. I missed talking to someone who understands me." I nodded. "Comfort." She opened her mouth to argue, but nothing came out. Instead, she exhaled and spoke truthfully. Fine, comfort. But comfort matters, and I lost it when I lost you. You didn't lose me, I said. You released me, there's a difference. The words hit her like a slow punch. She steadied her voice. When you said totally that day, I thought you meant we'd stay close. I thought you'd check in. I thought you'd wait until I sorted things out. I know, I said. That's why you smiled. She pressed her lips together. I didn't see your distance coming. You didn't expect consequences. Her eyes watered. Did I matter so little? You mattered enough, I said. You didn't matter more than my self-respect. She froze. Her friend at the other table watched her anxiously, unsure if she should interrupt. She didn't. My ex lowered her head. I was selfish, she admitted. I asked you to stay in my life while I figured out my options. That's accurate. And I didn't think you'd leave. That's also accurate. She swallowed hard. Seeing you now, I feel like I don't know you. That's because you never met this version of me. She looked directly into my eyes. Are you seeing someone? I didn't flinch. Yes? Her chest rose sharply. She covered her mouth for a second, stunned. Already? 6 weeks, I said. Enough time to move forward. She blinked fast, tears threatening. Does she make you happy? She respects me. She closed her eyes. That answer broke her in a quiet way. After a long pause, she whispered, I thought you'd come back. You thought you'd snap your fingers later? I corrected. She wiped her eyes quickly, trying not to fall apart in the middle of the cafe. I made a mistake. You made a choice. She nodded slowly, accepting the difference this time. Her voice dropped to the faintest whisper. Is there any chance for us? I leaned back, calm and steady. No. Tears slipped down her cheeks, but she didn't sob. She didn't protest. She didn't beg. She finally understood what real endings look like, quiet, firm, and irreversible. She whispered, I lost you. No, I said gently. You let me go. She stood shakily. Her friend hurried over to steady her. Before leaving, she looked back at me one last time. This time, the regret wasn't small. It was heavy, clear, complete. Because she finally realized something she never considered when she ended us. I wouldn't wait. And I wouldn't stay close. I chose myself. She dumped me with a soft smile and asked if we could stay close. I told her totally. Now she stood there in that cafe doorway, her friend holding her arm, both of them unsure how to move. She wiped her face quickly, embarrassed, trying to keep her voice steady. I shouldn't have said anything, she whispered. I wasn't ready to see you, not like this. Her friend tugged her gently. Maybe we should go. But she stayed still, eyes on me, waiting for something. Closure, comfort, maybe even hope. None of those lived in me anymore. She took a small step toward my table. Can we talk somewhere private? Please. I'm not trying to interrupt your life. I need to understand. Understand what? That I moved on? That her hold on me vanished the moment she asked for space while expecting ownership? Still, I nodded. Outside. We stepped into the cool air. She shivered a little, but not from the wind. I'm not here to beg, she said softly. I'm here because I realized something. I waited. I didn't leave you because I didn't love you, she continued. I left because everything felt too close, too serious, too real. And I wasn't prepared for real. I panicked. You didn't mention panic, I said. You talked about wanting to explore life. I thought that's what I wanted, she said. But after I ended things, everyone I met felt wrong. Every date felt shallow. Every conversation felt empty. And I realized the only reason things felt overwhelming with you was because you mattered more than I wanted to admit. I didn't respond. She moved closer. When you stopped texting back, when you started giving one-word replies, when you stopped showing interest, I felt it. The shift. And I didn't know how to fix it without sounding selfish again. You didn't need to fix it, I said calmly. You needed to accept it. She frowned. Accept what? That relationships end when someone steps out. Her shoulders dropped. I stepped out, but I never meant for you to close the door. You don't get to choose how slowly someone heals, I replied. She let out a shaky breath. I know, and I'm not asking you to undo anything, but I want you to know I regret how I treated you. I studied her expression, clear pain, but also honesty. She wasn't lying to impress me. She wasn't manipulating. She was confronting the truth she avoided. She brushed a tear from her cheek. When I saw you today, confident, calm, different, I felt proud of you. But I also felt something break, because I didn't think I'd ever see you look at me like a stranger. That's who you became, I said softly. She closed her eyes. I guess I earned that. I stayed quiet. After a moment, she asked, Is she good to you? Yes. Better than I was? She doesn't expect me to wait for her, I said. That's enough. A quiet sob escaped her, but she composed herself quickly. Then I'm glad. You deserve that. The honesty in her voice surprised me. She wasn't trying to win me back. She wasn't trying to tear down someone else. She wasn't trying to bargain. She was letting go. She stepped back and wrapped her arms around herself. I'm sorry I didn't choose you when it mattered. I thought you'd always be there. I didn't realize choosing freedom meant losing you. It didn't, I said. It meant losing access to me. She nodded with a sad smile. Thank you for being kind even now. I'm not being kind, I said. I'm being fair. She looked down. Fair hurts. Growth usually does. She laughed quietly through her tears. You sound like a therapist. I learned a lot. She reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a small piece of paper. This feels stupid, but here. If you ever want to talk, not as a couple, just as two people who shared something meaningful. I didn't take the paper. Instead, I met her eyes and said gently, I don't need that. Her mouth opened slightly, then closed. Understanding settled on her face, slow, heavy, final. She tucked the paper away. Then this is goodbye. Goodbye, I said. She hesitated before turning around, but when she finally walked away, her steps were slow and unsteady, like someone learning how to move through a world they broke with their own hands. Her friend wrapped an arm around her shoulders as they reached the corner. She looked back one last time, not with hope, not with anger, but with acceptance. I didn't wave, I didn't smile, I didn't look away. I simply stood there steady and whole until she disappeared from sight. She wanted us close. She wanted a safety net. She wanted a version of me that stayed put. But I became someone she could never hold again. And sometimes the deepest closure comes not from fixing something broken, but from walking away before you break too.